This is your daily briefing and you're most welcome to it. Spurs are apparently scouting Peterborough centre-back Ronnie Edwards, Coventry attacking midfielder Callum O'Hare and Nottingham Forest winger Brennan Janssen, according to Mike McGrath of the Times. I've got a couple of pals of mine who are Forest fans and are, well, not repeatedly, but on several occasions now, telling me very good things about Brennan Janssen. I think I'll try and find some interesting clips if there's any available and put them out on the boyhotspur.com this afternoon. Gareth Bale, the pre-contract that he's allegedly signed with Tottenham. You'll recall the headlines from all the usual suspects: The Express, Spurs Web, Football London, Here is the City, or Here in the City, the creme de la crap. All blindly aggregating, despite the source article Le National, which, if I call correctly, and I do, I said to you at the time it was too Bob. He's going to the USA by the looks of things. Maybe the decent sources that are pushing that line are wrong, and this piece of junk is right. But it just shows you. Look at what you're going to share with people, and ask yourself: are you doing the responsible thing? So right, this is from a longer piece I put on the blog yesterday, and I think there's an audience for it here as well, so I'm going to share it now. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club under the glorious ENIC reign has been a masterclass in misdirection and obfuscation by the encouragement of myths. Indeed, there are so many myths surrounding this particular club for it to be a series of just misunderstandings or conjectures. None of the myths stand up to the vaguest scrutiny, and yet they're still peddled, which in itself is really quite bizarre. The pecuniary myth, about the old Moura, is the one we've covered here previously. Despite being recognised by Deloitte as one of the very richest clubs in the world, we have been peddled a line that we can't compete financially. And I just take a moment here. Can you imagine people who just accept the nonsense of this line about the money? Oh, dirty oil money, dirty oligarch money. Financial fair play came in. I know it's not perfect, but it's an ongoing process. It's getting better, and it does prevent quite a lot of dirty shenanigans going on. You can't say that, and it's these people who thought that Chelsea were going to go pop over this business with the theatre of conflict in the Ukraine. It's just not the case. Roman Abramovich was not going down to the bank every morning and withdrawing the wages out of a bottomless pit. These football clubs are all self-sustaining business models these days, but Levy has put himself up, and unthinking, unworldly people have decided that the guy's a miracle man, and it's all a load of cobblers. It really, really is. There's no money, we can't compete, we can't go out and buy those players. Yet there was a desire and an ability within the club to find over £1 billion to spend on infrastructure. So you get the picture, the inconsistencies just point in one direction. And then we'll look at the top four myth. We're told that securing European football is vital in attracting a better class of player to the club. Well, here's a list of players that Spurs brought in during our time competing in the Champions League, and I have to thank again @Felon82, such a good Twitter account. Every single day, I think virtually every single day, that guy just shares something about Spurs which is undeniably right. It's an absolute jewel, that account, so get on it, it's well worth following. And the list of players, this was when we were at the top of the pops, this is when we were coasting, this is when we were on the path to glory. Moussa, Sissoko, Vincent, Janssen, Victor Wanyama, Georges-Kévin, Nkoudou, or no Cluedo, Lopez, Davinson, Sanchez, Lucas Moura, Serge, Aurier, Llorente, Juan, Foyth, Gazzaniga, Tanguy, Ndombele, Giovani, Celso, Ryan Sessegnon, and of course Jack Clark. There's some good bits in there, there's some half good bits, and there's, distressingly perhaps most of all, there's some players that didn't fit at Spurs and have gone off to actually fit in quite well elsewhere. And my question is, we'll come back to the transfer strategy, at some stage in greater detail. But my question is, at what point is this club going to start acting like a serious football club and less like a glorified hedge fund? The quality of the transfer activity at Spurs oscillates wildly from pot luck to bad luck, from wholesale absence of due diligence to wildly ambitious punts that understandably result in all reason being defied. And this is on a routine basis. There's more of a coherent pattern in chaos theory than there is of the goings on of transfer activity at Hotspur away. 15 players there were transferred to Tottenham whilst we're at the top of our game, and at some colossal expense. You see, that's the other thing. We can't, but we blunder around and actually blow quite a lot of money. And this is why Levy and Co and Cullen and Co and all these creatures, they can't, it's indefensible. They cannot say, people seem to forget we spent blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you spent poorly in the main. The lack of judgment, the misjudgment, that's what's got people's goat. And look, I'm trying to be fair. So it's easy to encounter bad luck. It is true to say that most clubs don't achieve tangible success. However, and this is the killer, honestly, this is the killer, Spurs used to be a cup side when we were relatively impoverished financially. The football-based decision-making was infinitely better in the 1980s. Ozzy and Villa had won a World Cup. Now, I don't know the mechanics of that deal. It was probably people talking to each other on telex machines or something, or perhaps a pen pal arrangement, who knows. But, we saw a pairing in a side that had won the World Cup, and we went out and we bought them or hired them, whatever you want to, and that was just wow. I mean, I was a kid at the time, and I know from some of the responses I get from you guys that a lot of you were around for that period, and it was pretty bloody mind-blowing, and yet we're told now in 2022 that the club has advanced as light years and the future's bright. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave you with this challenge. Name me 3 positives about our situation. I got some wise guy on here the other day, and these characters are all the same. They never come back to you. Never come back to you. They do this hit and run thing. They don't do it on social media, but they do it like they're throwing a carrier bag with something dirty into your back garden as they go past, and they say, and you reply to them coherently and say to them, okay, well, you tell me, give me an example, or ask them for something to substantiate what they're saying, and they can't do it. And they don't want to do it. It's not their intention to do it. Their intention is to demean you by throwing in what looks like, well, I know more than you sort of thing. And it's this arrogance. And it's this whole thing I say, they are part of the problem. So name me 3 positives about our situation, and forgive me, or rather don't forgive me, just be straight with me. No hopes and dreams, no threats of jam tomorrow. Just 3 things, immediate things, that distinguish us as a football club that has improved since the 1980s. So those are the terms and conditions. That's the fine print. Don't talk to me about the man in a grey raincoat. Don't talk to me about sugar. Don't talk to me about that. I'm not asking you about that. Okay, you've got basic English comprehension. Okay, that's the minimum level requirement to engage yourself in this debate. 3 immediate things that have improved us as a football club since the 1980s, and also, you know what's coming. Winning is the metric in professional sports. Let's just do that one more time. Winning is the metric. Now, I'm not some religious freak about this. I'm just stating the obvious, and I've said it before. If that's not the case, if I'm inventing a way of confining the way you think, then we have to fill in all the holes on all the golf courses. The horses run, the flag goes down, the wire goes up, but we don't have a finish line. Okay? Winning is the metric in professional sports. Oh, and don't bore me. Don't bore me about how you feel. I'm not your psychiatrist. I'll leave you with this one. Le Parisian, Antonio Conte, Tottenham coach, would see himself well at PSG, they're saying. I understand from a brief look online this morning, there's a little bit of nitpicking over the difference between Le Parisian being quite a reliable, decent, insightful football outlet and the actual author of this piece. So we shall see what we shall see. But what I am seeing is a relatively long line of Spurs fans announcing why PSG are a bunch of time wasters and Conte really wouldn't want to go there. Winning. That's your lot. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.